Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this session we are going to see how to translate XLIF files. XLIF stands for XML Localization Interchange File Format, which is mainly used to exchange the localization data between the participants in a translation project. And this document is a very special format in which it enables the translators to concentrate on the text to be translated without worrying much about the text layout, right? So these XLIF files can be easily read by Excel or Visual Studio Editor. Right now, let me introduce you an XLIF file here. As you can see, this is an XLIF file, and let me open it using a Google Chrome browser, through which I can help you out in understanding the structure layout of a XLIF file. As you can see here, since XLIF is an XML application, it begins with an XML declaration over here, which will include the version and the encoding format. After the XML declaration, there comes the XLIF document enclosed within XLIF element here. Okay, XLIF element. The XLIF document is composed of one or more sections, each enclosed within a file. This is the file element, and the file element consists of a header element where usually it contains the metadata about the file, and a body element, which contains the extracted translatable data from the file. Okay, so the translatable data within this trans unit element is organized into source and the target tags. Okay, we have source tag and the target tag, which is embedded within the unique ID of trans unit here. Okay, like that we have n number of pair of elements for source and target tag, which is embedded within the trans unit tag. So let us try to understand how we are going to translate the XLIF file based on the source tag. Okay, the main intention of this session is to show you that we can see few text element which is embedded within the source tag, and also we can see a text element which is embedded within the target tag. Now the main mission of this session is to consider the text of the source and try to translate it in a destination language or in a target language and put them in the place of target here. For each and every source tag, we have to fetch the data and we have to translate it based on the target language given, and we have to place it in the respective places. Now let us understand how are we going to do this job. As you can see, there are bunch of source and target tags which are available within the trans unit. Okay, however, we also have some HTML tags which is also embedded within the source tag. As you can see here, paragraph tag we have, okay, div tag also we can expect it, right? So let us understand the problem and try to chalk out the plan of attack. First of all, what I planned is to extract all the translatable text which is stored within the source tag. Okay, so what we do means we will first of all try to fetch all the values which are in the source tag. Okay, then we will save all these extracted elements in an Excel sheet, right? And later on we'll try to translate these elements using Google Translator classes, and we can also save it in any other file. Okay, translatable file. Let us name it as a translatable file. Finally, we'll extract all the translated element from the translated Excel file and reinsert them into the target tag of the original document respectively. Okay, this is what is the plan of attack. Okay, we fetch the each and every element from the source tag, we save it in a source file, Excel file. Okay, then after that we will translate it, then one by one value we will pick it from the translated Excel file and reinsert it into the specific position of the target. Right, now let us see how are we going to implement this using Python. Okay, now I had used the Anaconda framework, in which I am utilizing the Spider editor to write the program. As you can see, we have to import necessary libraries to do this task. You can see that I had imported xml.e3.cElementTree. This is the class. So this module will implement a simple and efficient application programming interface for parsing and creating a XML data. Now to determine the exact source tag, okay, which is embedded within each and every trans unit, we have to understand what is the route and through which how we can effectively reach each and every source tag, so that we can fetch the element which is embedded within the source tags. Okay, so this library will help me to do that. Also we can see we have to import XLRD and XLWT. These are the libraries which are used to retrieve the data from the Excel files, or you can use to save the data back to the Excel files in Python. Okay, so from that XLWT I am importing a class called workbook, which is required, and also to translate all the elements we required a Google translator, which I had imported from the library Google_trans_new. Later on, to identify any kind of HTML tags which is embedded in source tag, for that I am using Beautiful Soup class from BS4 library. Okay, and to set the path of the xlib file, we have to import OS. So these are the necessary libraries which are required for this task. So first of all, I would like to import all these libraries to a workspace. This is how I do that, and you can see it, we have successfully imported all the libraries. Now we have to set the path where it resides. Okay, in my workspace I reside in E:\Ashwin folder, so you can also do that. You can set the path here and you can write the code to find the path. Okay, so I used for file name in os.list directory of that path, and I'm going to search only the files which ends with XLF. So extension of xlib file is .xlf. Okay, and if I get that, I'm going to track the path name and parse it and store it in an object called tree. Okay, so this lines of code is used to set the path. After that, to identify and to get the root element of that, I need to invoke the method called as elementtree, which from the object et.elementtree, and give the file name. Okay, through which getRoot method will try to give me the root path of that XML file and store it in a variable called root. This is used to get the root element. Once I get the root element, it is very clear that I can easily identify where actually is the source tag, target tag, or trans unit file. There are header, body, there are so many other tags which are embedded within the root, so it will be easy for anybody to track the tags inside that. Okay, for that we have done this job. Now it's time to fetch the target language to translate the text. As you can see here, we have the target language and the source language. We can see the source language here, which is in the file tag. Source language is frch here. Okay, and the target language is zhcn. These are the translator codes, okay, of a particular language. This is in China. Okay, translator target language, and source language is in French, right? So we can easily fetch from here. For that I need to identify the file tag, in which I need to identify the source language and the target language. To make it dynamic in nature, I written this code here. We have to go for the root.findAll of file. Okay, search for this file tag, and once you search using the get method, you label that particular tag. Okay, target language. Of course you are going to get the value what is been hidden within the target language. Similarly, you do the same procedure for the to find this source language. Okay, once you do this, you are going to extract the target language and the source language, right? We can do that. If you want to see the output, you can just type it here and you can print ZHCN, this is China, and S value is a source language, and you can see it is French. Okay, so this is how we can retrieve the target language and source language from the XLib file. Okay, now it's time to create a workbook so that we can extract all the data from the source tag and put it in a new file. For that sake, I'm using XLWT workbook, which is encoded in UTF-8 format, and through which I'm going to add a new sheet, that is sheet 1. It's just like you are opening an Excel file and you get a sheet 1 right at the bottom left. The same thing concept I need to do for this. So this is how I create a workbook. And after that, now it's time to fetch each element within the source tag. Okay, and after doing all these iterations, I'm going to save it in a source file.xls file. Okay, that is a Excel sheet. So to do that, what I do means I start from the root, and I know inside the root I have header, body and source, but I'm focusing only on the source tag. That's the reason I go for another for loop inside the root, that is header. After that, I go for further iterations for body. Then I will find the source and I check if the source dot tag equal to source. That means it is clearly that I'm just checking for the source tag here. If I find the source tag, I'm just telling give me the text value which is hidden inside the source tag and put it in a variable value. So now the value is holding what value here? At current it is holding global page desktop, right? Similarly, for the next iteration it will hold home. Third iteration it will hold download. Like that it will keep on moving because I'm using for loops here. And meantime, whatever the value it fetches, put that value in a Excel sheet, okay, with the index element. You can see the I value is 0 and this is a row and column. So in 0 0, that means the first row, first column, the first index position, you put the first value. Later on, I'm just incrementing the I value to 1. So it will be the 1 0 2 0 like that. So it will come one after the other, okay, in a vertical way. And finally, once it is all done with the procedure, then all the sheet I'm going to save it in a work file book by the name sourcefile.xls. Now if I execute this line of code, you can see I can have a new file here, source file. See, this is created here. Now let me open this file for you and let us see whether it has extracted the right data. Okay. Yes, you can see it here. It is very clear that it has extracted the right data. Global page desktop, home, download. See, these are all the values which were hidden inside the source tag. So around 58 source tags were found, and all the values within that source tag has been fetched successfully and stored in Excel sheet source file. Okay, now this is done. Now what we have to do, that was our step 1. Step 2, we are done. We have saved it in Excel file. Now it is time to translate. Okay, now let us try to translate. To do the translator, I told you that we have to create an instance of this class Google Translator and store it in an object. Now translator has become an object. Now what you are supposed to do, you have to open that file, source file, right? Why? Because in that source file you have all the text data which has to be translated. Open that in read mode, create another workbook, okay, add that sheet 1 in that workbook and read. Now it's time to read from the location. What is the location given? Source file.xls. Read from that, go to the index 0 and start from the cell value 0, 0. So what is 0, 0 here? 0, 0 is this one, global page desktop. This is 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, like that it goes. Okay, so we have to go to this and put a for loop for each column in the range sheet dot number of rows, and for the row we have to fetch that value. Okay, so what I do means I fetch the value from the sheet dot cell value, means the column and row value we are going to get it from this first for loop. Okay, so it is 0, 0 at the beginning, and that cell value I'm going to put it in a value, right? That means I'm fetching the first value, that is global page desktop, and I store it in a variable called value. Now what I'm going to do, so you can see that in the source file there are few HTML tags. You can see here and app user, div class. These tags we are not supposed to translate. These are inbuilt. Okay, we are not supposed to translate here. And even this paragraph tag, div tag. Other than that, only those text has to be translated. Now to avoid these tags from the translation, I had used the beautiful soap class here, which is going to return the boolean value, true or false. So it will identify whether it contains any kind of tags. Okay, for that we had used HTML parser here. For each value I am just parsing it with the HTML parser and find. Okay, and that will give you the boolean value. If it finds an HTML tags, it will give true, else it will give false. For now, assume that it has given true. If it is given true, without translating, I am just putting that value in the respective row and column in the sheet 1. Okay, sheet 1 is the translate next Excel file which is going to get translated. Okay, and if it doesn't find, then you have to translate. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use this object. Via that object I invoke a method called translate, and I translate all the values. See, this is the value what I'm going to get. I'm going to translate this value to the target language. Okay, what is the target language? T value. T value I had already fetched that and store it in here. So this is the target language. Of course it is a Chinese language, right, as I taken here. And the source language is yes value, that is the source language. So based on that it will translate and it will store that value in a value variable. Now usually what happens is after translation it will, you may get one single space after that text. Now to trim that value I'm using this method called strip. This will try to strip, means it will trim the value, it will remove all unnecessary spaces, and it will store it in a value, and that value please store it in the sheet. Okay, due to this what happens means it will go to each column, each row one by one. It fetches the value. If that value is not an HTML tag, it does the translation. If it is a HTML tag, it does not do anything, simply it will store the same text in the respective this thing Excel file. Okay, now after doing all that, save that workspace and put it in a translate.xls file. As you can see here, we don't have translate file. Now what happens after I execute these lines of code? Okay, I'll start from here, right? Let me execute this. Now it will take little bit of time because it's starting to translate all the 58 data. Okay, it will take little bit of time, and after few seconds you can see that it is going to generate a translate Excel file wherein you can see all the values which have been translated to the target language. Let us wait for a few seconds. We are now going to get a new file called as translate.xls file. Yes, we are ready with that, and you can see it clearly that we have already able to create a translatable file. Okay, it's getting loaded. Yes, now you can see it very clear that we are able to translate all the non-HTML tags which are embedded within the source tag. You can see it, everything is been translated here except the HTML tags here. See, this is not translated, these are all HTML. See, not required. Rest all the things have been translated, 58. Okay, now it's little bit difficult task. Now what we have to do means we have to fetch this one by one value and place it in the target tag. Okay, now we are ready with the third step. Everything is done. Okay, now it's time to take the text from the translate file and put it back to the original document in place of target tag. Okay, now what I need to do, in place of this, see, I done the translation for this, right? Now the translated text I need to put it here to the target. Okay, this is what I need to do now, right? Now let us see how to do that job. First of all, what I did is I created a list file. Okay, and I started storing all the translatable text in that. Then I made use of certain mechanism wherein I took each and every value from the list based on the index value and try to put it into the target tag. Let us see how I did that. First of all, I need to create an empty file here. This will create a list which is going to store all the translated text. I labeled the file as translate.xls. I opened that file and I went to the cell value 0, 0, and after every column and every row, okay, I copied that one by one value from that Excel file and store it in a value here, and I had appended one by one value to that list. Okay, translate text dot append. So this procedure, what it does means, it will take one by one value from the translated Excel file and store it in a list. Okay, this is what I done. That's all. Now it's time to put it back to the original document. So again the same procedure happens here as we are done to identify the source tag. No, the same procedure we are going to repeat it here. Starting from the root, go to the header body and identify the target and check if the target.tag is a target. That means check only for the target tags inside the xlib file. And what you do means, for each and every text, okay, what you need to update is a translated text of I value 0. What is the zeroth value here? Zeroth value is the first value, that is the first global page. Okay, that is the first value. Similarly, you keep on incrementing that I. Okay, so what happens? First index is 0, next index will be 1, next will be 2, like that. It keeps moving. It keeps moving. So what you are doing means, for the target text you are inserting the right value based on index, because in the list you can't directly jump to any other. So we are going from first to last, okay, based on the index position. That's the reason I had given I is 0 at the beginning. So pick up the first value and put it back to the target.text, that is the first value, right? After that increment index position, you will get some other value. Since we are using for loop, you go for the second row and reinsert that translated text into that target tag. This is how we are going to store the translated text within the respective target tag. Okay, now let me execute this. Once you execute this, what happens means the procedure and the process is over. Now you have to save that file. Okay, because now if you see here, the procedure is over. You can see the procedure is over, but the file has not overwritten. Now it's time to overwrite the file. How are we going to overwrite the file? This is how we do. Last two lines. We have to open that path name. Okay, the same file name I had given. Okay, and write binary. Open it in this format. Label it as fh. Now what you have to do means, you have to write that. So entire tree dot write means what? This is your entire tree now, which the entire file is going to get converted. Okay, because you have got a new tree now. Old tree was what? Source tag and target tag was same. New tree wherein source tag is in English and your target tag is in some other language. Okay, so you are overwriting a new tree, right, with the proper encoding format and XML declaration. If you don't give this XML declaration in UTF-8, what happens is the most of the things will not be corrected. Okay, so to avoid such things, we have to give this, and once we execute these lines of code, we can see that the file has been overwritten. Okay, let us see that. You can see the file has overwritten. It's 352. Okay, as per the system time it is 352. That means file has overwritten. Now I'll open the same file and let us see whether it has translated the xlib file or not. Just have a look side by side, and yes, it has done the job. Okay, because you can see in the source tag we have global page desktop. Target, we are able to successfully insert that respective translated value here. Okay, and similarly in every single source tag it is able to translate and keep it in a target tag. Okay, this is how we are able to translate the source tag and put that or reinsert that translated text back into the same original document in the target tag. This is how we done, and you can see everything is clearly done. And this works very dynamic in nature, because when this file is created, you are going to get source language and target language. If you are able to fetch this value, then automatically you can do it. Okay, the only thing is ensure that in this particular directory you have only one single XLF file. Okay, and there are some other mechanisms which we can apply for this. Okay, so this is how I had tried to translate the XLIF file using Python. I hope you got a clear picture how we are going to solve this problem. I'm going to share this source code in the description section. Please do subscribe the channel for more updates, and thanks a lot for watching this video.